and out, throwing everything away, throwing everything in the parking lot, stealing my iPod, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like 13 years old. I truly don't know what eviction is. But in that moment, I grasped myself and said, yo, this is what your family's life has always been. And it's in front of me and it's exposed to me at this moment at the age of 13. What are you going to do about it when you get older?
Listen. All right. The energy here is amazing. Welcome to the Fine Podcast. Every week we invite interesting guests and we talk about the finer moments of what the Fine's done. Today we have a very interesting guest, man. Bswan, Mr. Michael, inspirational, motivational rapper / producer / documentary producer. You got a lot going on, my boy. Mm-hmm. You know, at such a young age, man. And you just finished doing a presentation. Mm-hmm. We just finished coming back from an entrepreneur like spotlight where people come and they present a business or idea and they get help from the community, right? Support from the community. And before you went to present, like I did a video with you. I was taking pictures. I'm like, because I believe like in collaboration, and I see that you're doing all this by yourself. So yeah. I can relate to that, and I appreciate that, man. Yeah. You're such a young man, so inspirational, and I think it was only right to invite you onto the platform.
Yeah, appreciate
so you could share some of that wisdom and knowledge and all the things that you got going on, man. So welcome to the show, Michael. For real, man.
Hey, I thank you.
When I speak with sincerity, and I said this plenty of times. Like I love showing people love, especially people that's, you know, I'm going to say it in the term that we understand, like coming from the mud, right? So when we speak today, we're going to speak with context, right? Because I have two different audience, which is people that come from where we come from, and they can understand the tone and the language that we speak, and then a different audience who may not understand that, right? And I was telling you earlier, like, I understood everything you were saying, but I think it was out of context because people are not from the same environment. Right, so one of the questions I wanted to ask is like, yo, how do you bridge that gap, right? You got to be who you are, and your brand signifies that, right? It's everything you are, and we're going to talk about that. We're going to let people know what you're about and your brand and stuff like that. But how do you bridge the gap to the people that don't understand? Because we in a community, right, where we don't see too many people that look like us. And I don't mean black or Hispanic. I'm just saying like from the environment that we come from, which is a nitty gritty environment. It's a little bit different. Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit faster. And you did that presentation, and you was you know, you have a clothing brand, and you was talking about like Gucci, Fendi, and it was like, yo, people rather spend bands on that, promoting that, when you could promote a business that is actually inspiring people and inspiring these kids, motivating these kids to get out of the streets and do all these things. And someone came up to me and was like, yo, what does bands mean? And I just started laughing, which is my man Andrew right here. He was like, yo, what does bands mean? And there was somebody next to him that was like, yeah, I don't understand that. And I'm like, okay, I see what's going on. You promoting your stuff in a way that I can relate to, and the people we come from relate to, but there's a different demographic that we speak to when we in these buildings and offices and stuff like that. So again, how do you like bridge that gap? How you find that balance between like, I'm gonna let you know how it is because this is where I'm from, but also I want you to understand, and I don't mean to come in an aggressive way or maybe speak in a way that sounds foreign to you.
Well, answer your question, man. Just find that balance. I just be myself, and you gotta. I'm gonna deliver you as myself, and you gotta take it how it is. You feel me? To really sum it up, saying that basically, I'm gonna speak from the heart, but it's gonna be to an understanding publicly. Now, I may come out with some culture words like bands, which is a hella old word.
Yeah. Even what you just said right there.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. So, you know, just having people understand where you coming from, what's your intentions, and, you know, your speech and your appearance with, you know, body language shows a lot too. Yeah. So I'm not coming at you with, you know, talking slang and I'm using my hands and being aggressive signs. Yeah. No, I'm gonna talk in a manner of being relaxed, not nervous at all, being open with you. You know, that's the thing. I think that's the number one thing people fail on, in my opinion, is being open. And you can see it. You can see it through body language because they start buffering like their computer. You can see their thoughts everywhere when you stare them in the eyes. They just everywhere. It's like, bro, just be yourself and watch how comfortable you be. So, going back to that presentation, yeah, I could see definitely what you're saying when I threw in some words like, you know, spend 15 bands over here, 15 bands over there. I could have cleared that up way more towards a diverse audience with people who are in our culture and not in our culture, and that that came down to really time. That's why I was telling you earlier. I was just so juggled up in the head because even speaking from a platform outside of my environment, I said a couple things to have them relate, but there were some things I left off the table, like you know, if you come from money, if you're a breadwinner, you still got to go through struggles because you're so used to being in the office or doing this and that, et cetera, getting so much money. It takes a lot of your time. So you taking a lot of time from your family, your wife and kids, your society life. You don't know nothing outside of work. I done seen that hands-on where somebody, I made 100 bands today, but you can't even have a conversation with a normal person because your mind is so busy racing on Forex and how you was in front of that screen for damn near 23 hours because you wanted to get these 100 bands. And look how it affects your actual life. This shit is real. So this digital,
that's crazy. That's crazy that you touched on that so soon. It's like these are conversations that I was having, like even the pandemic caused that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Caused people to be socially awkward,
Mm-hmm.
where they get into environments and they can't speak because you're so used to texting, sending emails, and talking through like social media and Zoom and all these platforms. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
Where people are being closed into normal settings, right? And it's crazy because in the city that we in, that's the number one way you can market your brand or product or service. It's not, people are not using social media in this city. It's like, I feel like this city is like 5 years behind, and that's no disrespect to the city. I love it. I'm here because I plan on growing it. I'm planting these seeds in a whole lot of people. But yeah, that's an interesting concept. Is a lot of people they have this, I don't know, this like anxiety that's built up because of the pandemic and being so in tune with what's going on in society that they forget to be just a human. And so this podcast, we like to give value, and I say it all the time, but I think the brand that you're creating is valuable, right? It's inspirational, it's motivational, it's thought concise and thought provoking. Just hearing you explain it and give that presentation, I'm like, you put a lot of thought and effort into creating this brand. It's just not another piece of merchandise.
Thank you.
It's something that forces or pushes the envelope to people that can be more conscious of reality, because that's kind of how you were explaining it, right? For the people that don't know what Lotus is, what is that?
Lotus LTO is a lifestyle brand through retail. Right now we're just focused on retail, but it's a lifestyle brand that is just what you said, inspirational, motivational, unique, uplifting. It's giving you it's basically giving you the symbolism of yes, I can. You know what I mean? No matter what you're going through, yes, I can. And it's our mission statement is to empower everybody in the world to understand your capability of opportunity, growth, and uniqueness around the world. Because that's something that we all lack on, in my opinion, to reach our fullest potential, is ourselves. And that's the process of life. That's trial and error. You wouldn't survive in this world if you was perfect. Yeah. Period. You would not survive in this world that we live in, especially nowadays, if you were perfect. If you somebody that claims you perfect, you got people out here who are not perfect, who have anger. And that's what I mean by different levels of you won't survive in this world. If you was too perfect, you'll probably be bored because you around people who are not like you.
I think that's a flaw within itself.
Right. So it's just me seeing behind hindsight of what can I market through fashion that would truly penetrate the world, not just a local area, not just one state, 2 states, but the globe. What is something that I feel like I can truly leave behind to this world that God has given me, and what can I give back in return? You know what I mean? As I'm here in the present, and then later on when I'm not here, we'll still be here. basically having a reflection of it being a historic figure. You know what I mean? People that was down the line who we still know to this day that they teach you about in schools. They're no longer here, but you know their names. You heard their voice before. You seen what they wear on the regular, but they're not even here physically no more. You know what I mean? That's a historic figure. Somebody who's left behind with a statue. You know what I mean? Somebody who gives their flowers to everyone else, and even if they see it in the moment, or if they don't see it in the moment, if they see it later on, you impact it, you affect it, and that's what I'm doing personally for myself. But what helped sculpt me personally as an artist, entrepreneur, and culture leader is this brand. So when I seen that, I became the first test of it. And then I started seeing how it affected other people's lives and how they started growing, as I was saying in the presentation. That's when I confirmed 2 years in the process, the third year now, going on third year, but 2 years in the process, that's when I knew it wasn't no more of testing it out. This was real, and this was an effect, and this is actually what was needed. You know what I mean? I cracked the code, basically. It's what I've been wanting to do this since I was a kid, and I cracked the code finally.
Yeah. So give context. What do you mean by crack the code? How has this brand changed your life or impacted others like you claiming right now?
I cracked the code, meaning as I dove into my thoughts, something I said I wanted to do and did it. Manifesting success. Started off straight out the gutter, man. Let me go to 13 years old. Me and my dad. He at work. I got a sheriff knocking on the door saying, we in Atlanta. It's cold. He said, come outside. Well, she said, come outside. And next thing you know, I'm seeing everything get thrown out the house. You feel me? I'm seeing everything getting thrown to the parking lot. My dad's rushing back from work to try to get over here and save it. Too late. Can't save it. But I'm sitting there watching everybody, these 6 grown men coming in and out, throwing everything away, throwing everything in the parking lot, stealing my iPod, et cetera, et cetera. I'm like 13 years old. I truly don't know what eviction is. But in that moment, I grasped myself and said, yo, this is what your family's life has always been. And it's in front of me and it's exposed to me at this moment at the age of 13. What are you going to do about it when you get older? And that's when it started showing me personally that what you created cannot just affect you, but it can affect everybody out here who has a story, because that's what life's about, storyline. Even watching Gary V podcast the other day, Gary V was talking about even with these NFTs that are coming out, if you still have to have a story behind it, that is the core. That's the core to business. That's the core to life. You got to have a story. Even hearing that again gave me a refreshment. Like, damn, bro, you really created something that's really finna be put on the map. You know, that's been being put on the map, but about to be shot out and expanded to the world now. You know, I finally see that vision.
That's dope. Sometimes you got to work hard enough to be able to plant those seeds, right? And then as you continue to work, you start to reap the benefits of all the hard work that you've been putting in. Mm-hmm. But it's difficult. It's difficult building a brand by yourself. And that's exactly what you're talking about. Like, the why behind any business is now called branding. Right? Before, you was able to have a good product and service and it'll be able to sell itself. Now the why is more important than the brand itself. It is the brand. We talk a lot about that, because this is what this podcast is about. It's about bringing people on and sharing their stories, right? So not only can people relate, but it can give some type of value to someone else. So you have this motivational mindset, kind of like a Nip, you know, rest in peace to Nip, man. But he was one person in the industry that was changing paradigms for young kids and teens and people in the streets to be more woke, right? And more conscious of, you know, he talked a lot about finances, ownership. He talked about manifestation a lot. He talked about having a clear and positive outlook in certain things. And Brandon, his one of his first mixtapes, he was selling at $100 a pop, and he believed in himself so much that he was able to sell. I think Jay-Z bought like 1,000 at $100 a pop, not knowing him from a hole in the wall. But when you got something good enough and you love what you do, there's a certain passion and frequency that you vibe on, that people that are on that high level can transcend and relate to what you got going on instantly. And it was like, yo, when we first met, I kind of felt that vibe. I'm like, cool, there's someone that's in the room that kind of looks like me in a sense, like, of environment and background, but also someone who has a champion mindset, who is diversifying himself, putting himself on a platform where he can expand, but not only for him, for other people. I think that's more important. Like, we constantly live in this world where I was on a roll, bro.
It stopped?
Yeah. Can you see why I did that? Can you, I don't know, exit out? Welcome to the entrepreneur world. Right? Yo,
trial and error.
A trial and error, man. We just welcome back. Yeah, we just had an error. We had a cut. I probably won't even post this, but we're just gonna move on to our next segment. We were talking about branding, right? I think
that's what we're talking
about. Branding is important, right? It's the reasoning behind whatever product or service that you are promoting, right? Some people want to promote motivational. Some people want to promote health. Some people would just want to inspire. You seem to have a few different niches within that, right? You're somewhat of a creator, right? You're a music artist. Obviously, you're a creator. You produce your own documentaries. You create your own merch. You distribute everything by yourself.
Well, I got a new partner as well. That's my CEO, so he's a part of it as well. So it's just me and him that distributes. His name is Jason.
Oh, dope. So you in the partnership, right? Is that something that you're looking forward to, like creating with other creators and partnering up and creating more things that you can collab with?
Yeah, down the line as we get more disciplined and basically scope our brand officially, where it's delivered and the message is out there and there's no runarounds and everybody strictly knows what it's about, then after we maximize our ownership, then we'll start doing partnerships. Right now we're just still in the space of just doing our fundamentals, getting our utilities and maintenance up and making sure the plane is flying. You gotta fix all mistakes before you talk about flying, right? So
right.
Getting all mistakes done before we lift off in the air, because you don't want to be flying. You talking about you got mistakes up there, you're gonna come down.
Right. No, I love that, because look what just happened. Like we just got cut off, and I think that's what entrepreneurship is about, right? It's about taking risks, and then knowing that you have a concise goal or an achievement that you're trying to accomplish, but it may not go that way.
Yep.
And real entrepreneurship, you have to adjust and pivot. Yep. And some people get into this space, and this is something I want to talk about, like getting into this space. I think entrepreneurship is played out. Like, that word is used so much, so loosely, that everybody's an entrepreneur, right?
Nice.
I think the real definition of that is taking risks, right? And being able to pivot and move in a way that the goal and the plan is still the same, but you might have to take a different route. How many times do you have to pivot? How many times do you have to maneuver to get to where you are today? Because from experience, building a brand, first I built the company, now I'm building a brand.
Right.
And the reason I did that is because I just wanted to build something.
Right.
Not so I can cheer and brag about building something, but I need to go through the mishaps and the mistakes. And that's important, because that's where you build grit. That's where you build this shield of armor where you can move through anything, because it's tough. And sometimes we get in our own head.
Yes, sir.
And that kind of stops us from moving forward. So how has that been? Like, the mishaps, the mistakes, the trial and error? You talk about that a lot. It's
been a journey, first and foremost, to say a journey that I just accept, a journey that I appreciate, a journey that I embrace to the fullest. Because, I think, who said it? I believe Albert Einstein said something like, you don't fail, you just learn, So
yeah.
That's when you see it in action, being an actual entrepreneur, like you said, taking those risks, gambling, playing different hats, different positions, overwhelming yourself, getting hella anxiety, understanding real mental health as an entrepreneur, and getting your energy back in line. All those things take place, and it shows you somewhere down the line. It'll be 30 seconds to 5 minutes. You're gonna sit there, and life is gonna hit you and realize, like, dang, this is what I'm doing. You know what I mean? This is what I'm doing. How are you gonna be able to react from it? Rather if it's something bad or good. You can get. You could be closing into a deal that you never had before, and you see those days are coming up. You might be like, dang, I ain't thinking it was that real. Or you might out of nowhere have something happened in your company or your business that just threw a monkey wrench in there. And you like, damn, like, just so practice on resilience, you know what I mean? Adapting, understanding what you signed up for, owning up to it, and making the best of any opportunity. Like law of opposite. Anything that's bad has a good in it. Anything that's good can have a bad in it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the word balance. That's how life is structured, off of balance. You got to have this and that to create a line. So yeah.
That's dope, bro. I find it fascinating that you think like that. Are you often misunderstood by the way you speak, or maybe I wouldn't say intelligence, but more conscience of reality? Because that's so true, bro. Like, people don't understand the anxiety that's created from entrepreneurship. Yeah. The stress levels. Now there's a hustle mentality that people don't know how to turn off, which is the complete opposite of what people being closed in. It's like I gotta get it today, right now. Yeah. Are you a part of both sides, like the hustle mentality, but also like, let me realign my energy, let me not suppress, but decompose any stress levels that I may be having, and understand why I'm having it?
Yeah, to answer your question, yeah. I have difficulties from time to time to balance everything. It I'm a victim to it to an extent where it's as far as I want to take it. Just to be blunt and real, I'll sit back one day and be like, damn, you was doing a whole lot of bitching instead of action. You know what I mean? Just for you to understand, to accept what it is, and it's all about how you're going to react. It's all about results at the end of the day. A lot of people talk, right? How you said entrepreneurs. A lot of entrepreneurs talk, and you got those certain ones who show action. And that's why, they have that symbolism of power, because they do more than just talk. Talking does not give you power. You know what I mean? People respect you off your results, not off how much you talk. You could talk a good game all day, but if you show real life results, it could be digital, it could be physical. If it impacts somebody's life, you know what I mean? If they see it with their own eyes and they gravitate towards it, that's what people are going to follow. So I feel like, as long as I'm putting in results towards anything that comes towards me, I'm going to succeed no matter what, because I'm going to move in only one direction, and that's positive. You know what I mean? So you throw any negative at me, I may be down 2 steps, but I'm best believe I'm going to come up 3 to 4 more steps after I have been hit with this type of adversity.
Yo, that's dope. That's such a great way of putting things. Mm-hmm. And not everybody has that concept of thinking things through, right? Right. Some people fold under pressure, and that's just being honest. Right. But there's people that do have that mindset, that champion mindset. I'm gonna win. Yeah. But in reality, not everybody wins. And I wouldn't say the chosen one, but the ones who can actually push forward. I think everything falls on energy. I'm a big energy guy, right? Facts. And I'm gonna put it in a form, in some type of metaphor. I think life is like a frequency, right? Everything is a frequency. Everything is a vibration, right? It is. And we are music players. We are radios. Right. And we have to channel the certain frequency to be able to align, and that's where you hear the music. And everybody's dancing to the beat they hit, right? So people, I study a lot of people, and the people that vibrate on a high frequency attract high things. Look at Elon, look at Yeezy, look at Jay. Those are people that I emulate, people that I look up to. And it's like, are we thinking small? Are we not expanding ourselves in a way where we can attract more? Because I was told this by my mentor. It's like, you got to think bigger. You always got to think bigger. Be realistic, but no, think bigger. Think crazy. Because if you hit half of that big goal or whatever you have going on, it's still more. You're still up way more rather than taking baby steps and trying to move from one step to another. And I've been that guy. Like, I want to go 0 to 100, but then I have people that's around me. It's like, no, it's A plus B equals C. And that's how we do it.
You gotta be honest about it.
Yeah,
you gotta accept it. I feel you 100% on that. I didn't even know you was on that type of vibe with the whole frequency thing.
Absolutely.
I'm on that huge too, and I agree, man. you channel your frequency and your vibration at a certain level that people can interpret and understand, then that's when you start to see the actions of your reality take place. Like, and it takes I don't want to say stress. It takes more weight off your shoulders when you start developing yourself and how people see you. So the people that you just named, Yeezy, let's compare the two right now. Yeezy and Jay-Z, right? Those are damn near similar, but two different people. They're similar because we know them, they have a lot of money. But personality-wise, who talks more? Yeezy. Mm-hmm. Kanye is in the public. Kanye is in the media 24/7. He's looked at as a crazy person. I personally think he's not crazy. But then you got Jay-Z. Jay-Z, a mogul who's been quiet, tuxedo, champagne, bad bitch like Beyonce, no offense. And, just doing things behind closed doors, but delivering them in action. You know what I mean? Helping people like 21 Savage get out of the situation he got in with ease, with quiet, right? So you got people who have their own frequencies and are honest with it. This is how Kanye's comfortable. He's comfortable being loud. He's comfortable being emotional. And that's a proven fact, and that's the correct way for him to be, because look at his results. He's what, 3.9, 4.4 billionaire? You know what I mean? You can say all you want. Oh, he's crazy. He got issues. But look at this man. You know what I mean? He behind that, what else does he do? He's an entrepreneur. He's a go-getter. He's a grinder. He's somebody that provides for people. You know what I mean? Same thing as Jay-Z. Jay-Z has his own frequency of it. Jay-Z does not want to be on camera 24/7 giving out game. He'll rather talking game, so to say. He'll rather give you game with his actions. Yeah. We all are different in our own ways is what we got to all understand, and to distinguish yourself and stop trying to compare yourself to other people. Be yourself, find yourself, and grow yourself. You can only protect and grow this garden. Nobody else can grow your garden. They're not going to grow your garden for you, damn sure, if they ain't got their garden grown. So I'm not finna focus on being thirsty. I'm not finna focus on people giving me water, people giving me refreshments and purity that I need to help me out. Nah, you need to grow your own. Get your own. How you said, we're entrepreneur. United States is definitely turned into an entrepreneur world, period, especially ever since this pandemic. Everybody's peep game. You can work for yourself and come up for yourself. How these NFTs are going, Bitcoin is going, cryptocurrency is going, et cetera, et cetera. This is how this world's going to be. It's going to be an entrepreneur world. That's the space we're in right now, and that's what you got to accept. You can cry and complain all day about it, but you're going to be broke, period. So you better hop on this wave.
Right. That's a fact. That's why, like, it frustrates me sometimes when I sit in these rooms because they're not having these conversations. It's like, we still doing things the old way, and I don't want to sound like a nagging, complaining, type of dude, but it's like, this is the reality of it. This is let's be realistic. If we get hit with another pandemic, what are most people gonna do? So some people won't be able to survive, right? Some people still struggling to get out of that from the financial crisis that has hit, right? So I'm big on like doing what you love, right, and learning how to monetize that.
Okay,
I think that's the best thing, because if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. That's the smartest thing to do. And a lot of people are struggle coming from the 9-to-5 to the entrepreneur or the working for yourself mindset, because it's two completely things. Some people do it with 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Whatever works for you, works for you.
Right.
But I know for me, it's like, I stood a whole year studying. Just studying great people, right? But that did nothing once I started. Nothing, because you got to actually go through it, right? Yeah. The best teachers, the life experiences, right, is what you go through in life. That's how you create the resilience, the grit, and all those things that you need that could contribute into success, right? You seen Kanye's documentary?
I did. I recently just finished it.
I didn't see it, but I was having a conversation, and one of my friends was telling me about it. It's like, all the things that he accomplished, he was speaking about it 10 years prior to it happening. It's like he believed in himself so much, and that's what you call the law of attraction. And you're big on that, but it's even deeper than that. It's like quantum physics, and that's the law of vibration, the law of numbers, and that's how things align itself. I don't want to sound like the dude that's like, I'm a higher thinking I'm this woke dude, but I believe in that, because certain things that I say, like, for instance, I created a vision board. Every year I do it. The beginning of the year, first week of the year, I create a vision board. And I like to think big, things that are unreachable. Things that are so far out of my reach that it'll take me 5 years. And bro, for the past 3 years, I've been accomplishing it within 6 months. Within 6 months, bro. One of the things was like one of the studio. I was 1 month into shooting podcasts. Just 1 month doing it out of my crib or traveling to Tampa, Orlando, just trying to figure it out. Someone literally came to me. It's like, yo, I got studio space for you. Came to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, dog, I just wrote that like 3 months ago. You understand what I'm saying? It's
Yeah,
like,
I do.
yo.
What he's saying is stop bullshit and stop being around the bullshit.
So the reason I say that is because a lot of people are self-centered, and I don't mean that in a wrong way, right? Like you got things going on, but there's more value in giving someone else value.
Right, not forgetting that.
Right? Because whatever you put out is gonna come back tenfold.
Yes, sir.
And I believe in good karma.
Yes,
I believe
sir.
in karma and good karma. Whatever you put out is whatever you attract, bro.
Yes, sir.
So what else you got going on besides the music, besides the clothing?
Besides that, I'm an artist, entrepreneur, and culture leader. So the culture leader part is I like doing community events for, all ages, all colors. I mainly focus on my first year last year. I mainly focused on the kids. So I was turning empty parking lots to riches, meaning that I'll see, the bookstore. One day the bookstore will have an empty parking lot. Shout out to WWG Bookstore. It stands for We All We Got Bookstore. And
is that here? No?
That's in Tampa.
Okay.
That's located in Tampa. And, my first year doing that, I was able to exercise the opportunity to, give back. And my OG, which is like my guru, he told me, it's important for you to always give back, regardless what you got going on. It could be hard times, but make sure you always give back through that time. And I learned from that, and I experienced that. And I found clarity for myself when I was sitting down watching kids have fun, red light, green light, drinking Capri Suns, blasting music, hopscotch, etc., playing, the basketball, learning from a basketball player, or inside reading books, drawing. I took clarity from that, and I took wisdom from that, because the next day I'll come back to the bookstore. We'll talk about a adult entrepreneur event that we're finna have. Kids, a whole new day. But I have one of the kids that following day come inside, run towards me and say, Bswan, thank you for the party yesterday. Give me a hug out of nowhere. And that just like shut me up for like 5 seconds. Like, dang, you just impacted a young one's life and the fact that that's what it's for. And so when I did that, that's when I knew that this is something else I want to do, and that's when I really stamped myself as a culture leader. As far as the kids, more than the kids, sitting down with grown men older than me and having them open up to me and saying that they want to learn. They showed me and taught me more about myself that I didn't know until I was around them, because they actually put their guard down, their pride down, and wanted to learn from a young dude who is on to something, that I want to be a part of, or I want to learn, and they would teach me things as well. So we'll meet up every single week, have these events, and learn from each other, and read books with each other, have a podcast with each other, learn about the history, learn about riches, learn about delivering, a message in your own brand. So that's when I knew, like, I started looking around like, dang, I came from just, being quiet to leading communities in different cities. So the culture leader part is me just, you can say best, the other word is known as activist. You can use that word, activist, spreading the message, spreading the word of wisdom around, and being inspiring to others.
It's so difficult to draw attention to that, right? Because it's not the mediocre.
It's not the wave.
It's not fun to some people, right? Like, I'm super interested. That's why I created platform, right? I'm obsessed with just becoming better.
Yeah.
Whatever that may mean to people that's watching. It's like, whatever makes you better, whatever makes you feel good, whatever drives you, motivates you, inspires you, whatever that may be. I'm super obsessed with that. I want more of that. Right. And that's why I study certain people. They don't preach that, but they live by that. It's like a huge difference, right? How have you been able to get your message? Like, what do you do for like marketing your brand, or putting your name out there.
It's still difficult to this day. All this content I have, and I still personally feel like I haven't penetrated where I need to be. So, I feel you when you say it's difficult.
Is there pressure in that? Is there pressure? Like,
hell yeah, there's pressure. Hell yeah, there's pressure because we on that damn phone. We on social media all the time. We on Instagram all the time.
You want it to hit all the time.
Yeah, you want it to hit all the time. That's where the validation comes in with this social media. Everybody want the blue check. Everybody want the followers. We being programmed. You know what I mean? It's honest to say that we programmed to a certain extent. I've been blessed enough to be conscious from it and awake from it and pull myself back from time to time, detox myself, sad to say, from social media. But it does get difficult because I'm putting all this time and effort into like all these documentaries, all these songs, right? Trying to get my brand out, trying to sell clothes. I sold a lot of clothes. I've sold seasons out before, but a lot of those times it took time to do that. I got a lot of no's. I got a lot of people telling me straight out, nah, bro, I'm not buying. Or you got some people like, hey, I got you next Friday, or I got you in 2 weeks. You feel me? Or hey, or not even that, just double tap. You know what I mean? Just not even hitting you up. So it's trial and error what you got to go through, and it's like it does give you a certain stress level that you have to understand and control and maintain yourself. You feel me? Because that's why I'm going back to saying at the end of the day, bro, ain't nobody going to understand you but you. So you got to take care of your garden. You got to grow your garden and just lead by example. When you have beautiful flowers that are blossoming, and they got over here these deadbeat flowers, they're gonna start looking at you like, dang, what did he do to have this beautiful garden? You know what I mean? I want the same exact thing. Let me study him, as you said, studying people. I'm
only looking for people that are looking for me,
mm-hmm.
right? My brand is about that, looking for the right people, because some of the messages that we post is like a 15, 16-year-old, it may not understand that.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So I literally detach my emotions from the outcome.
Right.
My job is what I'm inspired to do in hopes that it can help someone else.
That's a fact.
You feel me? And if we come into that term, it's like anything that happens outside of that won't affect you mentally, physically,
mm-hmm.
because you did your job. And I think it's important that you continue to share these messages, especially where we at. How can we drive the culture into not only what we have going on, but more into the city, right? Yeah. To make it a norm, because I think there's a lot of people that look like us and come from our background that they don't know that there's these environments and organizations that are there to help them.
Right.
Like 1 Million Cups and
CEP.
Yeah, exactly. Like those organizations, it's like, yo, they're accessible to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Why isn't everybody using them? And how can we do that? How can we help people get to that place where they understand what's going on? Because the reason I asked that, because you said you're an activist, right?
Yeah.
So how can we activate people to move?
Okay. Just what you said, bro. Honestly, making it a flex. You know what I mean? Somebody like you who's doing what you doing and what you represent. I can tell you have an extreme passion for it, and you, like you just told me, keep doing what you're doing, and eventually people will gravitate towards it. We always got to walk into the unknown. You always got to walk into the unknown. You always got to understand the unknown, because the unknown is what's going to bring you to your answer. So, for people like us who, how you say, it's like, it's not the wave. People have this opportunity in front of them and they don't go towards it. Why? What is it that's not clicking with them? It's just straight up, to be honest, it's not the vibe right now. You know what I mean? And it's going to take warriors like us and others that are out there to keep flexing that. Make it a flex. Make it popping. Make it that's where the creativity comes in, right? There's always abundance of creativity. You can always come up with something. You can always make ideas for shit to pop off. So for us my answer is, I feel like just keep diving into your creativity for people to, depending on what scale you are wanting or what capacity rate you want of people to come, the crowd towards you. Fundamental thing for you to do that's permanent and guaranteed is to build your own brick by brick, brick by brick. People by people.
Good. It feels good.
It feels real good.
It feels real good. And then if something happens in the process of that, you know how to fix. You know how to fix that brick. You know how to replace it.
Facts.
A lot of people want to go from 0 to 100 without doing what's in between.
And don't know how to do nothing.
Exactly. Like Jay-Z said it the best. It's like, yo, people want to emulate the end result, but not the process.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And people want to support once you make it,
mm-hmm.
not when you're not making it.
Mm-hmm. I want to say this real quick. I think what you're doing, and a lot of other people do, but in particular you right now in this current time, I think what you're doing is very, very, very inspiring. I think it's very radical, and I think it's very absorbing for a lot of people. You are a teacher. You know what I mean? If you know it or not, you are a teacher. You deliver something to people to explain to others through a podcast, through just communication between two human beings, and where it can deliver to others. Like I said, I woke up this morning focused on Million Cups, right? Focused on my presentation. This man came out the blue. You know, we've been chatting it up for a little minute, but he didn't hesitate. He seen me in the donut room getting a donut. You got to be on the podcast. What you doing today? Let's get to it. Now here we are. And he's giving me that experience and existence that I'm in the routine of having. This is my first podcast of 2022, to be honest, and it's rolling out for my mixtape campaign. So I just want to say I appreciate you for that. You know, that's the type of things that we continue to do in our own lives that will show for others. Like, if I ain't explaining this to you right now, if I'd have walked out this door saying, all right, bro, appreciate you for the podcast, but not explaining and giving you your flowers, that wouldn't have hit you as much as I just did. You know what I mean?
My hair's standing out like.
So it's like, it's real shit.
Like,
it's real shit. It's about giving your flowers, bro.
Bro.
It's about giving your flowers.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that, like the partnership I got with, shout out to Edna Soul Food, how I got that partnership started off with him. I opened up to him right in front of his face. He cried in the middle of the restaurant. I told him straight up, hey, I'm inspired by you. I said, yo, I've been bringing people to your store day by day. I first came by myself, then I brought 2 people, then 3 people, then 4 people. Have you been noticing that? Yeah, I've been noticing that. Well, you want to know why? Why? Because I'm inspired by you. Once I said that, he paused. He stopped making the food, looked at me, and started crying. And that's all he said during that time, he was going through the hardest thing. He was finna shut down. His staff members, he was quitting on them. They was just doing BS. So he's finna shut down for a little bit. But when I came to him and opened up with him about that, then I exposed my brand into it. This man stayed open. First off, he cried, but then he decided to stay open. I decided to help him out as well till he got back right. And then since then, he's been making price record sales, 1.7 million Google views, and his business is just flourishing day by day by day by day by day. But that's the small things that we have to do to get to where we need to be. It's right in front of your face. It's inside of you. You got to follow your intuition and express that. You know what I mean? You got to be open with people that you inspired by. You got to be open with people that you see a light in.
That's such a tough thing for men to do, especially. I don't want to say where we come from, but I love to show people love. I consistently say that for the simple fact, life is tough, bro. Yo, we all facing challenges that some of us don't even know about. Like you could be going through something crazy at home. Yeah. I don't even know. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? And to be able to share my platform with other people, up and coming artists, up and coming, like whatever you got going on is there's a certain type of energy you have to just put that out to the world, because we're in a way where everybody wants the quick likes, the people to like whatever they have going on. It's like, yo, first you gotta look stupid, especially to your friends and family, because they know the person that you really are. Oof. And then you gotta break out of that
humiliation.
Exactly. And that's, you know, since I started shooting in this studio, my partner, he's a coach. He's like a master coach. Like his levels are crazy, and he's been instilling that into me. Like, yo, you should just coach. You do that on your podcast. You kind of
do.
You know, give people like gems in order for them to start a business or to go into entrepreneurship. Everything is mindset, bro. Everything is mindset. How you look at them, how you look at things ultimately determines the outcome. 80% is mindset, 20% is work.
Right.
The work is easy. And I think I live by the 80-20 rule. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything's, the gym, you want to lose weight, the gym is only 20%. And then everything you eat is 80%. And then your finances, right? You save 80%, spend 20%. And
shout out to Pops taught me that 80-20 rule. That's crazy that you brought that up. Shout out to Pops.
Yeah. I'm on that, bro. I'm like a hood nerd. I love to read.
I like that.
I love to read. I love the culture.
Yeah.
I love to chill. But I just want to improve, man. So before we head out, bro, let's give people some value. I think everything we talked about has been up to value. But somebody that wants to start a clothing brand or just a brand in general, what are some gems that you can give them that would help them, but also avoid some pitfalls while doing so?
You got to see it. You got to see it first. Once you see it, you got to study it. And once you study it, you got to deliver it. So what I mean by that is, man, see your vision first and foremost. If you're somebody that's vocal and want to express your ideas, but yet you can't take opinions, then don't do it. Keep it aside with you. And once you finalize what you have in your head that you want to express to the world, then deliver it. And once you deliver it, make an impact. And I would say how you can do that is to be open at all times. Keep your heart open at what you want to do. Stay 10 toes down. Grind out what you want to do. You're going to take hella L's. You're going to take a lot of L's. You're going to get a lot of no's. But as long as you know,
a lot of L's mean lessons.
Yeah, lessons. And when you know at the end of the day that what you have created is true to you, and what you have created, you 100% believe can be achieved, then stick by that. 10 toes, which means stand your ground, show integrity. Keep character. That's the number one thing. Keep your character in line. Keep your character up to date with everybody. You gotta always be. Even when you having your worst day, show somebody a great day. You know what I mean? It's positive. It's important for you to do that, because when you do that, as he said before, it comes back to you in good karma. The universe is big. You know, universe is a cycle, and everything that you deliver comes back and is sent right back to you. So I would say, keep your head up first and foremost. Always be creative. Think about new beginnings, because every day's a new day. And if you have to ever go back to the drawing board, that's okay, because you in a blessed space already.
Yeah, that's a fact, bro. That is a fact. Listen, I appreciate you coming on, man. I see what you got going in the city, man. Mm-hmm. Let's make stuff happen, bro.
Yeah. Shout out to Ocala 352. Yeah. Representing for home, man. Representing for home. Victim to Victor, the mixtape coming out this month. It's definitely a representation of what I've been through being from Ocala, Florida. So shout out to Ocala, man. Being back home for the first time in a long, long time. You know, I used to always visit, but being back home, stable right now, meeting people like you as yourself, being here, and networking with yourself as well, and just understanding that, you know, other people have like minds and want to see growth in different communities, and want to see growth for themselves, and just want to have that journey. You know what I mean? Just want to have that journey to give to the following generations and the following generations. That's the biggest richness and gold we can achieve. So I appreciate both of y'all for giving me this opportunity to be here.
For sure.
This is definitely something that I will look forward to coming back to.
Yo, most definitely, most definitely. I think
keep pushing.
Even besides this, you here physically. Yeah. You know, I speak to a lot of people and I'm like, yo, I want to create this, but it's more digitally. Yeah. And I'm like, yo, what we can create here? And that's something maybe we could talk about. But before we head out, where can people find you?
You can find me at Bswan_Lotus on Instagram. You can also find our clothing page on Instagram, LTO Clothing. And that's where we'll be giving out refreshments of new content that's going to be previously coming out. Bswan_Lotus is my personal artist brand Instagram. You can see that I give updates about the mixtape, about clothing, about events that I'm going to. Always representing Lotus, LTO, live over the unique struggles, you know, staying inspired, staying motivated. But I like to have fun too. So you always catch me getting creative with different people. You always catch me smiling. You always catch me just being myself. And if you want to find a purpose and you want to find a blueprint to where you want to be, you can look at me, for example. I call myself a city legend already. You know, I have that mindset because I want to manifest that. You know what I'm saying? So if you want somebody to look up to, I definitely would say myself, other people that I post and repost, because I don't be around nothing else but positivity and growth. So find me at Bswan_Lotus, Twitter, Bswan LTO. The website is LTOshop.studio. And if you go on my Instagram, just click the link tree. All sorts of content will pop up, from documentaries, etc., from YouTube, music videos. So, man, shout out to Deafine podcast, and keep growing, keep understanding, and understand what you are capable of doing. People like him have gave me the opportunity right now that I have starting 2022 to express who I am, to give the definition of who I am. So Deafine is what it speaks. You know what I mean? Being on this podcast has showed me that I found more about myself that I didn't know yesterday. So this is huge, bro. I appreciate this podcast that you gave me the platform on, and I can't wait to come back soon.
Most definitely, bro. Thank you guys for watching, man. I'm super inspired and motivated right now. Like, for real. You that guy, man. I'm excited to see where you're gonna take this. How far you're gonna go with it. You got our full support here at Deafine. If you guys new around here, man, every week we invite interesting guests, and we just have like these defining conversations, talk about life, mindset, and entrepreneurship. Make sure you like and subscribe. We out of here. Peace.